Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can tell by the graphics, today is actually kind of a special episode. December 30th, 2016 was the first day that I uploaded a video to YouTube. So yesterday was actually the second anniversary of my channel, and so I wanted to produce a video, kind of celebrating that and celebrating the channel's growth, particularly over the last year. But certainly, to recognize that it is my second year on YouTube, and looking forward to the upcoming year. I was waiting for the analytics for the channel to actually update to include December 30th, but it really didn't take over until now. So now I have the December 30th included in the channel's last 365-day growth. So I will switch over to that and show that in a few moments. But also it's New Year's Eve, and so I kind of wanted to do a year in review. And when I was thinking about 2018 and my gaming experience during 2018, it really was a huge year for me as far as gaming is concerned. Not just because of the channel and the channel's growth during this past year, but when I started looking through and looking at the games that I had purchased, or the game supplements, or the game related materials that I had purchased during the 2018 year, I started coming across, one inescapable fact, and that is that I bought over, well over 100 products related to RPG gaming, tabletop gaming, or, I didn't even get into the video games that I, had purchased over, this past 12 months. So really quite incredible, amount of games and materials that I've gotten into these past 12 months. And originally I was going to go through the list of some of the games, and I was like, wow, this is really, almost a ridiculous amount of stuff that I actually bought over the past year. So I wanted to put out, or at least mention the game that I think, stood out the most for me is For Against Darkness. So for this past year, 2018, For Against Darkness, which is the game I picked up about 2 months ago, this really changed the way that I look at gaming. And, it's a solo player experience. So you play it on your own. The game system itself is the DM or GM emulator, and you run your group of 4 characters through an adventure, and you develop them and build them up as time goes on, and you go basically level by level through various dungeons. And there's a slew of supplements that that the game has available to it, all through Ganesh Games. But you could also get a lot of them on drive-through, and as well as Amazon. So so several different ways that you could pick up this game. And I mean, Andre, I'm not going to butcher his last name, but Andrea, who has a great community on Facebook for Against Darkness, I recommend you going there. And I'm hoping that 2019 really does, make this game explode, because it really is a, fun and great game to play this. I don't quite remember who first led me to this. I believe it was Questwise did a video for this game a little while ago, and so I give a shout out to the YouTuber Questwise. Recommend that you take a look at his channel as well. So so that's another YouTube channel. And then also Artichoke Dip, who really turned me on to solo game playing, and that's another YouTube channel that I recommend you take a look at. in talking about 2018, not just the game, but the some of the YouTube channels that I have drawn inspiration from, and I just mentioned two of them there. Another one is Rick's channel. It used to be the Fat Man GM. Now I believe it's the you know it's The Seat is Open or something. He just changed the name, and I'm going to put a link for that in the description as well. He literally just changed it, but he was the Fat Man GM. And Rick puts out, really great videos and talks about games, especially old school games. So that's another, another relationship that, another person I had come into contact with, in 2018 that really made 2018 a great year for gaming for me. So certainly far beyond what I had done in 2017. So we have that there as well. Looking forward for 2019, I will jump into that after we talk a little bit about the channel first. So, I was waiting for this analytic to come up, and so I will switch and go through this with you. So the last 365 days, I'm, really quite happy with the slow and steady growth of the channel. And, everything is positive, from the previous year, with the exception of probably the minutes and average of viewership. But, I had gained 206 subscribers, and I think it's currently at 234 subscribers. So you could see the growth that that the channel has had over the last 12 months is really just phenomenal. A lot more likes and dislikes and comments, shares. I've certainly there's about 170 some odd videos on my channel, but a good 140 of them were just from 2018, and that's where a lot of the comments and the shares had come from, is that. So the channel is doing great. It's growing, really well. I'm super appreciative of the people that are, following the channel and, getting alerts. Please leave your comments there, because comments do help out, a tremendous amount for me to, consider what else to put up there. What to put out there for your continued viewership. If there's, and I've always said it, if there's a game that's out there that you think I might like, and you look at, I have a very broad, very broad appreciation for RPGs, and so any genre, any format, I pretty much love them all. And so if you're working on a project out there, and I could have gone into all of the different Kickstarters that I've backed this past year, and there's quite a few. Like I said, probably close to 24 Kickstarters that I've backed over this past year. And I might save that for, when I actually get them, and I can then start putting out videos for those as well. So looking forward to 2019. So what are my plans for both this channel and just my own personal gaming over, in 2019? I am planning to continue doing more and more in For Against Darkness, including I'm hoping to actually get something written for it and go about possibly doing an adventure booklet for Against Darkness. I know every year I keep on looking for a game that I can feel really comfortable in writing for, and hopefully producing something that is publishable. And so I'm leaning towards this game system now, and I'm hoping that that's something that comes along sometime in the next year. That would be great. I've been getting back into playing AD&D First Edition. I'm currently running a campaign with a friend of mine, David, running solo campaigns, and that's another thing that I'm looking to really delve into, and that is the GM+1 gaming, and this is a result of two things really, is that number one, even playing online, which is almost all of my, well, actually, it is all of my playing RPGs right now is online, whether it's using, Roll20 you know, um, or Google Hangouts or Discord or any of those, those access programs to gaming, to the gaming community. Even using that, it's still sometimes hard to put together a group of players on a very consistent basis. And it's much easier to find just one or two players that is available at any given time. That, hey, you know what, you want to jump in? We'll do this game and at this time, and much easier to organize to do that. The second reason why I'm doing that is, or looking to do more of that GM+1 or GM+2 at the most, is that writing adventures I found for just one player, one character, it brings, I think, the world a little bit more alive, because now you can, you don't have as many moving parts, let's say. So it makes it easier in a sense that, I'm catering to just one like, and, one experience that gets cultivated, and that one player can very easily start to see, his or her impact on the world, and how it develops along that lines, than with playing with a larger group. Now, I'm not saying that, it's not fun to, GM larger groups, but I think it's more manageable, and just easier to get a smaller group together to GM for. Now, as a player, I like to be in a large group, so I don't know if I'm being selfish in this, but as a player, I like to play in a larger group, because you get that interaction, and it's a lot more interesting to interact with multiple players on the other side of that table. So, so that's something that I'm looking to do over this next year, is, a lot more gameplay, but with smaller groups. And, I've always been more so of a GM than a player, but, hopefully I can get some playing time as a player in as well, and run some of my own characters as well. So that's something I'm hoping to do in 2019 more so. Moving on forward, as far as the channel is concerned, I've made some major changes, as far as I've fully committed now to XSplit for projections, and I've upgraded my camera, my document reader camera, so that when I'm showing a new book to you, and when I start, Conan the comic book, the Marvel comic book is coming out in, on January 2nd, actually, so in 2 days. And when I get a, physical copy of the comic book, I will have that document reader that I can then give you a walkthrough of that particular comic and story line and everything. So, upgrading that camera has actually been a big help in doing what I'm looking to do with the channel, and presenting, various games to you, especially since many of the games that I'm dealing with, like this, are, still soft cover, and, physical copies of things. And so that's helpful. I picked up a gaming table, so a 34-inch by 34-inch gaming table, that now I could start doing some solo play, skirmish type, tabletop wargaming, and show that. And I actually have a new game that I picked up that I'm going to do a video for most likely tomorrow. So that'll actually be the first video of 2019. Will be the Songs of Blades and Heroes, put out by the same company as For Against Darkness. So put out by Ganesh Games. So again, in the link and on drive-through as well, so you could link through drive-through and pick up the PDFs of any of the games that I'm mentioning now. So, so I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to to a lot of gaming and making new contacts out there, as far as gaming communities on Facebook. And there's some growing communities outside of Facebook and outside of YouTube as well. And I don't spend too much time with Twitter, but other social networks out there that are dedicated to gaming, that that I'd like to get into contact with, and keep this, keep our hobby continuously growing and thriving, and sticking to the mantra of let's just game, let's play together in an environment where we're having a good time, and pure escapism, and moving forward, and growing the fandom across the board for all types of games, all types of big and small companies, and such, and supporting fellow YouTubers out there, and getting our content out there to reach the most people, so that you find your, everybody has a chance of finding their little niche, and finding their finding the channels and the communities that they're going to be interested in interacting with and playing with. So that's pretty much it. So I really appreciate you stopping in. I wish everybody a healthy and happy New Year, a safe one tonight, and looking forward to the upcoming year, 2019, for being a big year for everyone. And so you all have a great time this remainder of the weekend, and enjoy enjoy tonight, enjoy tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime very soon. Happy New Year.